Hello and welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. Do you want to see my ferrets? We have a nice pair of golden ferrets. Trying to quote Arnie, I am not good at imitating voices. Maybe I did a good job. I don't like to listen to myself do voices. Anyways, these are the Rocky Patel Mulligans golden ferrets.
Want to see my ferrets?
Okay, she does not do Arnie. This is a Connecticut shade wrapper with a Maduro wrapper and a nice twisted barber pole with Dominican and Nicaraguan long fillers.
Stop stealing other people's cigars.
At least that's funny. We try to make this humorous because, as we've said in many videos, even a reviewer, if you watch them, it doesn't mean that you're going to have the same results as us. So, yeah, we can give our recommendations and all that stuff, but that's not really a reason to watch us. You watch reviewers pretty much for entertainment and to pass the time. And then maybe they'll sell you on trying something that you might not have tried otherwise. Rocky Patel Mulligan's Golden Gopher from Holtz exclusive is one of these opportunities where you may end up finding a cigar you wouldn't have tried otherwise because you don't deal with Holtz, etc.
How much is those per stick?
I got a 6-pack from their 6-pack specials for $24. No, it's $22, $24. I don't know.
And you got a deal.
But you get 6 of them, and I got some other things while I was there. Anyways,
I'm going to be pairing it with this here beer.
Now, I will say that this is not the prettiest barber pole, as I could see there's some, you know, unevenness between the edges and the lines. Big deal. If it smokes, it smokes. Now, the cap kind of came a little funky loose here, but that was my fault. When I was cutting this, I cut it with a V-cut at an angle, and then I took a draw and I couldn't, so I tried to V-cut the other angle, and then I ripped it open. So, that's my fault.
I have a question for you.
You had good draw.
This cigar is a Rocky Patel Mulligan. Does that mean that Rocky made these also for the golfers?
No. Now, there's a story behind these, apparently. Rocky Patel wanted to come up with an ultimate barber pole. And for 7 years, he worked on coming up with the proper pairing of leaves and filler. And this was that pet project. He finally came up with something he was happy with. And he basically had his factory mass-produce them for a major release. Well, major release date started to come up, and Rocky decided to ditch the whole project. So what he did was he sold all of them to Holtz.
Just to let you know, even though those dang dillwads over at Famous Smoke Shop, messing with them, saying we're not going to have any new cigars. Right now on the market, the IPCA, I think it is, delivered 2,000 new blends. That's one of them.
So this new one that just hit apparently was one that he decided to just scrap, and he sold all of them from his warehouse to Holtz at a discounted price. And now Holtz has got them here as the Rocky Patel Mulligans Golden
I
Ferret.
would like to share with you all that I would love to get
I really hope this is fantastic.
All right.
The story's great.
My nickname is Queen Nubs, as everyone knows, including you, Johnny Sticks. One of the things I would like to try in my life is the Rocky Patel Mulligans gopher,
I don't remember
groundhogs, and they're the same size.
They're 4x60 nuts.
And I would love to sample them. And I just wanted to
anyways,
share
let's get into smoking this. We're 4 minutes in. We haven't sniffed the wrapper, nothing. So
I don't smell anything.
It kind of has a. I want to say it smells a little like a taco seasoning. Very faintly.
I'm not picking up anything.
The foot, I get nothing, but at least from the Maduro part, I'm kind of getting a taco seasoning. And nothing from the Connie section, the Connecticut section. It seems to only be coming off the Maduro. Anyways, I guess it's time to light these up. And I lost my lighter. Yay! I've looked at pretty much everywhere for it and can't find it. Now this one doesn't want to work.
No, I'm not getting kickbacks. I'm just saying right there, I paid my own money for it, so the only one who can sponsor this video is me, even though the Mississippi Mud Company, a brewing company, you know. Now, if any of you work over at the Mississippi Mud Company and want to let us sample your beers, we'll gladly do it. We'll even put you as a sponsor. And I'll drink it every day.
Okay. You like your alcohol a little too much. Wow, it feels weird lighting with a single burner. I can't figure out what that is.
Oh, for some of you out there, I hope you enjoy yesterday's video of the Perdomo. We got to upload that as soon as this first part is done.
I'm not having the greatest draw on this, but it's not bad. It's just tight.
I'm having tight draw too, so I figured that's why Rocky sold them at a dirt cheap price.
Has a decent flavor though.
Unique flavor.
It is.
What are you
unique.
picking up? You can't tell?
It's kind of a cinnamon spice, like raw cinnamon, not hot cinnamon. Just cinnamon sticks, raw. Fresh ground, perhaps. With some leathery notes, and the leather seems to be more predominant than the cinnamon, but the cinnamon's easier to identify.
I'm saying I'm picking up allspice.
That's kind of odd.
We're two different people.
And this is a, I think it's a 6x52 or 54. It's a bigger ring gauge than 50, that's for certain. Yeah, it's single burner. I ended up missing lighting one section here. Oh, I gotta do a retro hit. Kind of a candy-like flavor too. More like a jujube though, for the candy. It's got a gummy texture flavor.
My apologies. Allergies are kicking my butt, so I have to go blow my nose. And my rag where I usually, even though I'd say praise Jesus right now, I want to kick my own fanny. Was right here.
Nice retro hail on this. I'm actually really impressed by that. It's kind of got a spicy kick to it. Kind of like an Asian spice of some sort. It was nice and tasty. Let me guess, you went out because you were gone for like a minute.
No, there's hangnail, sorry.
And it doesn't seem that this barber pole has much of a problem with the two separate leaves, but we'll see how that goes as this progresses.
We had a barber pole once, but didn't do too well. I believe it was the ogre.
Well, don't get us wrong. It didn't have a problem. It actually burnt fairly evenly. The thing is, it was uneven. It wasn't wonky. It just, where the seams met of the two different wrappers, it'd start burning down a little quicker on that side, and it'd start to leave a small channel. Not quite a canoe, but it would fix itself. It just wanted to follow the seams, though, and burn on the seams a little hotter than anywhere else. So it was a little funky, but not repair-wise.
For some of you out there just curious, I paid $3 a jug. These are 32-ounce jugs for $3 at cash and carry. It's not a bad price, so.
And by the way, these may have been the predecessor that eventually became the Rocky Patel Edge A10. In fact, they kind of have a similar flavor to the Rocky Patel Edge A10.
Those were...
The 10th anniversary of the Rocky Patel
yeah,
Edge.
and then Evergreen have it, or was it
yes,
the other
it was
place?
Evergreen, and they don't have it right now. Well, I did get a new ashtray. This one is Argyle. It also came from Holtz. This, I think, is a plastic material. It sounds like ceramic, but it had no protection in the packaging, and it's really light. So I think this is just really hard plastic. So.
Question is, would you use it as an ashtray?
Oh yes, in fact, I plan to use it. And it's a nice 4-finger ashtray in case you have friends by. And it won't have them all touching. And it's got nice channels here for setting it
This
down.
ashtray was purchased by Aaron for $50 11 years ago, or almost 11 years ago. It's been used ever since. I've scraped my pipes out to clean my pipes in there. I've used it as a cigar ashtray. I've used it with family with cigarettes. This ashtray is good.
So far, I'm really enjoying this cigar, though. Anyways, we're at 11 minutes already just because of the backstory and all the information and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get to the halfway point here and try not to waste your entire night or day. So see you shortly. Hello, welcome back to the halfway point of this Rocky Patel Mulligans Golden Ferret.
Do you want to see my ferrets?
It's getting old.
Well, it's from 1992, I think.
Don't touch my car. I like it.
No, man, we'll just keep an eye on your cart. Or what about this? If you keep doing this, little kid, this is what I'm going to do to you. With the pencil. Stop eating other people's lunches. Instead, stop stealing other people's cigars.
Which movie was it with the guy who was in an airplane and the kid behind him was driving him insane? It was Monk. It was an episode of Monk. I wonder if Arnie was in that position in Kindergarten Cop, how he'd do. With the kid standing over the shoulder looking at Monk and saying, Pete and repeat, we're in a boat. Pete jumps off. Who's left? Repeat, right? So she just keeps going and going and going, and Monk's getting crazy because he can't not answer. And I'm thinking, if it was Kindergarten Cop and the kid in the back seat with the, who's like hitting the seat or whatever, and he turns around. What if they were doing that to him? I think maybe it'd be man out
Well,
of the
no,
plane.
the kid was sitting there and he kept getting this, and his lunch was there. So finally took the pencil and was like, this is what I gotta do if you don't stop misbehaving.
Yeah. Anyways, on to this cigar. For one, I really like the ash on this. It's a nice firm ash. It's holding strong. It's gray and black, and it's got a little flake coming off the side, but for some reason I really, really like the ash on this. Number two, great. The draws opened up, and the flavors are really decent. I can't complain about them at all. They're kind of indistinct, but there's some kind of mossiness to them, a little earthishness. And,
I thought I was tasting peat moss.
Yeah, and a
And
little,
motor oil.
and perhaps a little hay. But the flavors are very, very good in this. I'm really liking it.
Some of it's undiscovered taste buds that you just can't put your finger on it. But this is a fine cigar, even though Holtz bought the entire.
Sometimes
Mulligan.
when trying to describe a cigar in words, it takes quite an imagination to imagine what something would taste like based off the smells that we can get.
And this Mulligan goes good with Mississippi mud.
Probably because that's earthy and that's earthy. So they both got earthy notes to them.
Whatever, it's got a unique flavor. You want a real strong beer? Try drinking a Guinness.
Oh,
that's really strong.
not
I tried a double stout.
Not
twice.
to mention, this has been a long burning cigar too. I'm quite pleased with the length of burn in this. We're over an hour already and halfway.
The question is I'm going to ask this to Aaron, even though he'll probably tell me after the cigar anyways. So far, are you feeling you're getting satisfied with these this cigar? Because I've smoked cigars.
This seems much
not...
more high quality than what I would expect. I mean, $24 for 6 of these. What's that work out to? Like
$4 a stick. 4 times 6 is 24.
Yeah, $4 a cigar.
And these are damn good.
I think these come to about $60 to $70 a box, something like that, and they come in bundles. I would be tempted to buy a bundle of these. These just fabulous flavor.
The Rocky Patel Mulligan Groundhogs, the 4x60s, they're in bundles too. But you know what? You can't expect Rocky to sell you as premium cigars, even at $4
But this was supposed
to.
He worked on this for 7 years before just deciding to scrap it for who knows what reason. But
maybe
I can taste the work in this. This is not a cheap cigar. This is
maybe it was something that after he got it all done, he wasn't happy with inside.
And
himself.
although the barber pole itself doesn't look all that well constructed, it's one of the best smoking barber poles I've had for burning on a razor.
Yes, mine's been burning on a razor. I had 2 minor small fixes. I do want to say Aaron did make a joke about something like we could rewrite the Magna Carta because one of the pieces of the barber pole, but you know, it's gone. You
had a crack where the Maduro leaf pretty much tore in half, and it was kind of coming up from the bottom and down from the, and it was like right in the center of a leaf, like right here. And it was like that far down, and it was just torn through. But it smoked up with no problem. And it was kind of weird. And you could actually see that the Connecticut wrapper was underneath the Maduro, and the Maduro was laid on top. So
this would be a 2 cigar.
It's
outer wrapper and inner wrapper. The binder is different. Holy.
So cigar. I suppose you get more Connecticut wrapper on this than Maduro wrapper, and that's not something you usually find out. So actually, thanks to a problem with the cigar that didn't turn out to be a problem, we learned something about it. I would never have known. I would have figured it was 2 different types of tobacco. Instead, it's part of the leaf has 2 wrappers on it, and the other part has 1 wrapper.
So, shall we continue and wait for the last third?
Oh, yes. We'll see you shortly.
Stay tuned. Welcome to another part 3 of this Golden Ferret. Now, this cigar pretty much has been burning on a razor, except for the last third, which is burned considerably pretty good. I've had to fix it once, and this is the next. So 4 small fixes. Otherwise, it's been very good.
I've loved the ash on this. This cigar has... It's even changed. I noticed a transition to a slightly fruitier than earthy note.
Honey is what I'm picking up.
Yeah, I could say honey.
And I'm picking up some fruit that's undisclosed. And no, it's not because of the beer. Because they don't make fruit beer like this.
I am really enjoying this, though. It's a very nice cigar, and I've had no issue with it. Even where I messed up in the back, it hasn't gotten too bad. I mean, yeah, it's fallen apart, but, it's my own fault. I know it's my own fault, so... And I better not play with it, or I will make a problem for it.
I've been trying to take a cue from Aaron and leave it alone so it doesn't burn. Once in a while, I'll see a hangnail or a light canoe, and I'll fix it, and it's fine. However, I made a joke with Aaron the other day. Right, Aaron? I said, look at these tips. Do you really believe it? It's a bunch of hogwash. Because Famous Smoke Shop had a catalog, and they give little tips. It's like, when you have a canoe, turn it to the canoe part and blow on it. The leaf will catch on fire and burn it evenly.
It doesn't always happen. But,
I'm like,
and
what?
If it doesn't happen, then it is time for a fix. That is one way to know whether you're going to have to fix it or not. If you can blow on it and it will not light, then you're going to need to fix it because it's not going to catch itself.
Well,
by the way, great retro hail on this cigar. Not too strong. It does burn if you overdo the retro hail, but if you just do a little
we've been
bit,
forgetting to tell you what we think. I think this is a mild to medium cigar through and through. Aaron?
I try to stick away from that because what I find is mild to medium, somebody else might find is full. And what I find is full, somebody else might just sit there and say, I don't think this has the body as some full that I've had. So, but For the most part, I think that this is pretty mediocre, right around the center of the line. It's not too strong, not too weak. It's got good flavors, a lot of different flavors. It's not one-dimensional. This is a cigar with a lot of different aspects to it. And I wonder why our Rocky Patel gave up on this, and I'm glad he did. It means that we get them cheap from Holtz.
And it pairs very nicely with the Mississippi Mud beer. And by the way, just so you know, this is produced by the Mississippi Brewing Company out of Utica, New York. And if anyone knows anything about Utica, there's the Utica Firearms Company that makes 1911s for very expensive. You've been to Utica, haven't you?
Oh, yes, I've been to Utica. Just not Utica, New York. I have been to Utica, Kentucky. Now, this is why I'm going to laugh. Utica, New York seems to be a pretty big city. Utica, Kentucky, which to me is the Utica, is a one-gas station town with no traffic lights. I actually walked the 8 miles from Utica to Owensboro once just because I wanted to do it. I left in the heat of the day in the center of the afternoon and walked all the way there. It wasn't too bad until somebody decided to chuck a beer bottle at my head. Luckily, it was full and it was cold, and I did find a place to go drink it, and it didn't break. And it was hot enough. I really appreciated it. Actually, it's just,
I just want to.
I didn't like it buzzing past my head, and it was like, whoa.
I just want to say, even though Aaron's dad, he's a sweetheart, and he's grumpy and moody at times, like bipolar. His dad was sweet enough to take me and Aaron had to, and I had to go with him.
And you've been through
Kentucky.
Utica.
Hold on. I've been through Utica, but I enjoyed my trip to Kentucky because of 2 reasons. One is the whiskey is dirt cheap, as well as the beer, and 2 is the cigarettes at the time were cheap. No, I'm not a cigarette smoker, but at the time Aaron was smoking cigarettes
$9
at $9 carton.
But you know what? When you were there, if you sneezed as we were going through Utica, you would have missed it. Where was it? We're through it already. But when my grandmother, we went there for my grandmother's funeral. Rita went with me, and we drove right through Utica on the way to the cemetery. So I know you've been through there.
Yes, and also I like how the people in the southern states, I have a friend,
they don't do
Layla,
that in the southern states.
and Layla was very happy to hear the story. But in Kentucky, anyone who sees a funeral procession, they turn and they pull on the side of the road. Even the guy driving the hearse, who was part of the funeral procession, who drove the hearse ahead of us, he said he was a policeman, and the policemen there, even if they were chasing criminals, would pull over for the funeral procession.
In fact, this is something funny. Apparently, in Owensboro, if a cop and a bad guy are having a high-speed chase, and a funeral happens, the bad guy will pull over and the cop will pull over out of respect. And then they would continue their high-speed chase once the funeral's passed. At least I imagine that that's what would happen, because it seems everybody pulled over. So,
and even okay, picture this. We're in the front of the funeral.
I really doubt the criminal would stop.
We're in the front of the funeral procession. We're in Aaron's dad's minivan. We're top of the list, right? Top of everyone. We're cruising along, right? And I'm sitting there, and Aaron's dad says, "Hey, Rita, watch this. You'll never see this anywhere else." As I was watching the funeral procession, right? Everyone that was on...
it was a 4-lane highway.
Hold on. Everyone pulled on the side of the road, right? We're going one direction. He says, "Now look on the other side." Everyone is pulling over on the other side, yes, just because
on a 4-lane highway. You had the 2 rows coming towards us, all pulled over. The 2 rows with us, all pulled over.
I'm just like, that is amazing, you know. Nowadays,
the whole road was left to the
nowadays, like my grandmother, for example, I found this experience to be good. And I didn't like the hotel where they tried to steal an earring, you know, being a girl, you know. And it's like, hey, you know. But anyways, my grandmother's funeral and grandfather's funeral, the funeral home was right here. Next door was the cemetery. So they drive through the cemetery roads, and that was it. But in Kentucky, it made all
For those
the
curious
difference.
of what I'm drinking, I am drinking Cock and Bull. It's a ginger beer.
Don't laugh at the name. That's what it is.
It truly is called Cock and Bull. But it's a ginger beer. And I like ginger with my cigars because ginger is a palate cleanser. And it's not too harsh, so it ends up cleaning the palate so you can get a good flavor right
If you want to know
afterwards.
what I'm drinking, it's called Mississippi Mud.
Yeah,
right
we
there
got
with
that.
ginger.
You've said it like 4 or 5 times.
I like it.
Yeah, I know, drunkie.
I am not a drunkie. So, but anyways,
I drank too much.
and when I was in Kentucky, Aaron's dad talked about cigars. You know, they didn't have premium cigars, but I got to try my 2, thanks to his dad. 2, and it was 50. No, it was 25 cents a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Little Borkum Rips.
Oh, I
with
missed
tip.
those. Those were good.
The little cigars, and he bought me a box of
And they were 60 cents.
whatever. He bought me a box that costed $10, even though I was a premium cigar smoker. They didn't have much there. A box of Philly Titans for $10.
Yeah, well, you also got a carton of those.
Those little cherry cigars.
Yeah, the cherry cigars with a filter.
Boaz.
Boaz, yeah.
Because I
it.
remember it's a name from the Bible, so I was like, ooh, these look good. And of course, his dad wanted some. It's like, you gave us a carton.
Anyways, we are over 20 minutes for this video. My final recommendation or verdict on this is do give it a try. Apparently, they were all sold to Holtz. How many were sold to Holtz, I don't know. But once they're gone, they're gone. They're not going to be re-rolled or whatever. Maybe if they're really popular, they might. But
hold on. If Mr. Patel, which I know he's not watching, Mr. Rocky Patel, if you're watching this is a good barber pole. I don't know what your problem is, but
this is even a better barber pole than the A1
or the Ogre.
No, I'm talking about other Rockies. The Rocky Patel Edge A10 was not as good as this is in its construction. Sorry.
Well, what I'm trying to say...
I like the A10. This is better constructed and honestly has better flavors than
what
the
I
A10.
was trying to say is, Mr. Patel, if you're watching this, just remember, you sold all these to Holtz. Now, if you're going to make another barber pole, that's fine, but just remember, you better get your act together because in 2 years we're all screwed when it comes to the FDA unless we get a new president that reverses these laws. So, take it away, Aaron.
Beautiful cigar.
I highly recommend it. This will be on my top 25 this year at least.
It might make it for me too. Anyways, with that said, please add and subscribe. Leave questions, comments, feedback, and suggestions. If you have smoked this and you agree or disagree with our review, go ahead and leave your opinions in the comments below. Just keep it nice is all we ask.
And enjoy every puff.
Yeah.
Yeah.